morning. Happy Mother's Day, ladies. That's it. Okay, everybody stand up. Sing this with me. Did all your dreams come crashing down? Feels like no one hears you now. Did all the good things fall apart? Got so much anxious in your heart. Oh, I know that pain, and you are not alone today. Come on. 'Cause even in troubled water, even on shaky ground, you can find rest in the Father. Lay your worries down, and He won't leave your side. He won't fail you now. You can find rest in the Father. Lay your worries down, and He will calm your restless soul. Remind you He won't let you go. So when you feel that heartache fall, oh, He's a safe place you can fall. Oh, I know that pain, and you are not alone today. Come on, church. 'Cause even in troubled waters, even on shaky ground, you can find rest in the Father. Lay your worries down, and He won't leave your side. He won't fail you now. You can find rest in the Father. Lay your worries down. Go back to the altar. Go back to the start. Go down to the water. Remember whose you are. Come back from the darkness. Run home to the light. No matter the chaos, His arms are open wide. 'Cause even in troubled waters, even on shaking ground, you can find rest in the Father. Lay your worries down. 'Cause He won't leave your side. He won't fail you now. You can find rest in the Father. Lay your worries down. You can find rest in the Father. Lay your worries down. 'Cause you can find rest in the Father. Lay your worries down.
Morning. I don't know about y'all, but I'm in a really stressful season of life right now. I'm trying to shuffle around a lot of things, trying to graduate, trying to just get a lot of stuff done. But through it all, I know I can always be like, hey, Mom, can you help me with this? Hey, Mom, can you help me? Can you throw in a load of laundry? Hey, Mom, I'm running late for work. Can you throw me something in the microwave real quick? And really, it would be impossible, quite literally, for me to be here without my mom. But she does so much for me, and I'm so thankful for that. But yeah, so just remember, be thankful for your mothers when you have them. So let's pray. Dear God, thank you for today. Thank you for just allowing us to come to this place to worship you. Pray that you would just see what we're doing here, and just pray that it's honoring to you and is what you want, God. Pray that we would be doing this with pure hearts, and that you just help us to worship everything we have out to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Start before the beginning of time. With no point of reference, you spoke to the dark and fleshed out the wonder of light. And as you speak, 100 billion galaxies are born in the vapor of your breath. The planets form. If the stars were made to worship, so will I. I can see your heart in everything you've made. Every burning star, a signal fire of grace. If creation sings your praises, so will I. God of your promise, you don't speak in vain, no syllable empty your voice. Once you have spoken, all nature and science follow the sound of your voice. And as you speak, 100 billion creatures catch your breath, evolving in pursuit of what you said. If it all reveals your nature, so will I can see your heart in everything you say. Every painted sky, a canvas of your grace. If creation still obeys you, so will I. If the stars were made to worship, so will I. If the mountains bow in reverence, so will I. If the oceans roar your greatness, so will I. For if everything exists to lift you high, so will I. If the wind goes where you send it, so will I. If the rocks cry out in silence, so will I. If the sum of all our praises still falls shy, then we'll sing again 100 billion times. God of salvation, you chase down my heart through all of my failure and pride. As you speak, 100 billion failures disappear. Where you lost your life so I could find it here. If you left the grave behind you so alive, I can see your heart in everything you've done. Every part's designed in a work of art called love. If you gladly chose surrender so alive, I can see your heart a billion different ways. Every precious one, a child you died to save. If you gave your life to love them so alive, like you would again 100 billion times. But what measure could amount to your desire? You're the one who never leaves the one behind. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we only want to hear your voice. We're hanging on every word. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we want to know you more and more. We're hanging on every word. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we only want to hear your voice. We're hanging on every word. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we want to know you more and more. We're hanging on every word. 'Cause when you speak and when you move, and when you do what only you can do, it changes us, it changes what we see and what we see. When you come in the room, when you do what only you can do, it changes us, it changes what we see and what we see. You're changing everything. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we're leaning into all you are. Everything else can wait. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, come now and breathe upon our hearts. Come now and have your way. 'Cause when you speak and when you move and when you do what only you can do, it changes us, it changes what we see and what we see. When you come in the room, when you do what only you can do, it changes us, it changes what we see and what we see. You're changing everything. When you move all our fears. And when you move us to tears. when you move, when you do what only you can do. It changes us, it changes what we see and what we see. When you come in the room, when you do what only you can do. It changes us, it changes what we see and what we see. Changing everything. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we only want to hear your voice. We're hanging on every word. Spirit of the living God, Spirit of the living God, we only want to hear your voice. We're hanging on every word.
Amen. You may be seated.
Before we ever knew how to speak, she was already speaking love over us. Before we understood the world, she was helping us feel safe in it. She was the first voice we heard, the first hand we reached for, and the first place that felt like home. She's the hands that held us, the arms that caught us, and the strength that carried us when we couldn't stand on our own. She's the one who stayed up late, woke up early, prayed quietly, and loved deeply, often without anyone seeing the cost. She's a teacher, a protector, a comforter, a guide when the road doesn't make sense. And so often through her love, we catch a glimpse of God's love. A love that sacrifices, serves, forgives, and never gives up. And today, we honor that love. We thank God for the moms who raised us, the moms who prayed for us, the moms who encouraged us, and the women who became like mothers when we needed one the most. For every hug, every sacrifice, every word of wisdom, every meal made, every tear wiped, and every prayer spoken. Thank you. Today we celebrate you. We honor you, and we thank God for the beautiful gift of mothers. Happy Mother's Day.
You know, when we celebrate Mother's Day and we celebrate Father's Day next month, I want to be very careful because sometimes we have great memories, sometimes we don't, and I want to make this very, very clear to you, biblically speaking. You do not have to have blood-related children to be a mother figure to someone in this life. And if you do have children, you're called, ladies, to be that mother figure in their life. But I don't know about you, but I grew up in a small town. I have my biological mother, and then all of the moms of my friends are like adopted moms. If Jennifer Kiefer walked through this door right now and she said, Matt Griswold, you do this, I would do it because I'm scared of her. And you think, well, she's a retired teacher. She's a retired teacher. She put up with me as little me, okay? So we have all of these things that we look at Mother's Day, and we're looking at this, and I do topical sermons on kind of big days of the year, but I'm going to look at something this morning, and as you turn there, it might be very familiar to you. I'm not going to go over the first parts of it. I want to concentrate on the last part of this, but we're going to be in Proverbs chapter 31 today, and we're going to look at what God says, or the wise words that are spoken here about what ladies should try to set an example as. Oftentimes I believe that God, if you didn't have a good relationship with maybe your biological mother, maybe God put you into a relationship with somebody else that could cover those gaps. Maybe you're that person that covered the gaps of other people. Maybe today is a very, very heart-wrenching day. Maybe your mother is no longer with us. Maybe she's in heaven. Maybe she's not in this world anymore, and we take today, and today is a day that we would be sad, but also a day of saying thank you. As Jesse said a while ago, Mom was the first one. My dad was always working. Mom was always my first. Hey, I know that you're gonna call me an idiot, but you know that you told me not to ramp my bike out of the ditch. Well, I did, and now I have this huge gash that needs taken care of. My mom is more than a mom. My mom is a doctor, a therapist, a corrector, and I mean that in this area. Okay, very much a corrector. She was very much a mouth soap putter in her. I'm reinventing the English language today. My mom would wash her mouth out with soap. Why would my mom? And sometimes I said, Mom, it's not fair. Sometimes I said, Mom, listen, here's the deal. I'm getting a little bit too grown up. I remember I played basketball my senior year just to get in shape for baseball. You are not going to see me in any highlight reel for basketball ever, okay? So here's the thing. They had court warming in front of the entire town. You've been to one of these? Everybody is there. I'm a cool senior. I wasn't really cool. In hindsight, I thought I was. I wasn't really. But you get the flower. You go up to your mom. You give him a hug in front of everybody, and Dad goes, "You will give your mother a kiss." I said, I don't know if you've read the Cool Book of 1998. That's not in it. And he goes, that's cute that you have that opinion. So when all that came due, I walked out and I gave the rose to my mom, and I absolutely hugged her, and I gave her a kiss on the cheek. And I saw my dad look at me going, you don't die today. Literally. Okay, my dad taught me how to respect my mom, I love my grandmas very much. God has blessed me. I still have one left on the earth. The other ones are celebrating with Jesus, and I celebrate that fact. But they all have a lot in common. They all would correct me. They all would pray for me. They all would teach me. I learned to cook from my grandma, both of them. I learned how to cook. My grandma, my other grandma that's still living, has not only a green thumb. I think she has like a green hand. My grandma could go to Walmart parking lot and plant tomato plants on the asphalt, and they would grow. I promise. I learned how to do different things, and I haven't picked up quilting yet. But if I did, I would talk to my grandma. But ladies are very special, and ladies, if you're with us, I want you to understand something. If you do not have biological children, it does not mean that you are not a mother figure. It does not mean that. If you're a teacher, you're a mom to hundreds of kids. If you coach, you are a mom to a lot of different people. And we have something going on in our church right now that is exciting. I'll move right back to moms in just a second. But I know, because I've been texted a whole lot this week, what was in the house? Some of you saw my Facebook post, and I said that we exceeded our goal. Exceeded our goal. People, there's 3 more offerings. And you're like, no, we'll take care of it the first one. We had a goal of raising $12,000. That's a very close estimate to what 3 houses next year in Guatemala could make. So I, like you, because I have ADD, I'm not saying you do, but I do. If there was a way, like when Mary and I got pregnant with Emma and Lydia, the technology was there for us to find out whether we were having a boy or a girl. The absolute instantaneous moment that we could have an ultrasound to see, we did. Because I'm like, I can't wait. I need to know what this is. So we had 2 girls. So I waited around, and Sarah comes out of this room last week, and she has a number written down. And I told you we were going to raise $12,000. And she shows me the piece of paper, and it says $13,900. And I'm like, I've also talked to several missionaries. We're going to get back to you on this. I've also talked to several of us that have went to Guatemala. And the overall consensus is right now, not that we won't help them. We were going to take the money and help send our missionaries. Most of the missionaries that I talked to said, I want to pay our own way. Let's see what we can do to give this money to the teachers or to the students, or they're making some other big building projects at the school right now. And I left church last week on cloud 87,000.
Not 9, 87,000 is a way higher. And I turned out here and I'm like, God, you are so cool. We over $12,000 and all of a sudden $13,900. What if I told you that God wasn't done that day? I was heading into Joe's. I was getting ready to eat some wings. By the way, Joe's is a sleeper on wings. It's good. I was going in to meet my father-in-law and Mary, and I get just to the edge of town, and my phone rings, and it's the treasurer of this church. And I said, oh, there's a number that got switched. Maybe it wasn't that much, whatever. And she said, I just want to tell you that somebody had a Guatemalan envelope, and they didn't put it in the house. They just made a mistake. They put it in the other offering box. So the total is actually not $13,900. She goes, Matt, the check that I found in the offering box was for $4,000. It was $17,900. So we say, oh, just pour a little bit. I told you last week out of the last chapter, out of the last book of the Old Testament, that God says this. He said, put me to the test and I will open up the windows of heaven and pour out blessings on this church. It's not financially, it's not the only thing that God is blessing us with. We need people to volunteer because we have more people. And I know this means, oh man, that was a really good one. You almost got me. No, I'm being serious. I'm being really serious. We have opportunities for you to serve. We have people that are doing too much. We have 2 services so that you can sit one and serve one. It's a wonderful thing. I'll always post this. It hasn't popped up yet this year, but there's a guy, this huge church has this great big open spot right here. And on the bottom of it says, what's your excuse? He's vacuuming the carpet from a wheelchair. What's your excuse? You see, we give. We're not going to be a church that, we're celebrating this, but we're not going to be a church that just throws money at something. We're going to put our hands and feet to things that need done too. Too often, churches get very complacent and they say, oh, I can't do it, I don't want to do it. I'm just going to throw money at it. We're not going to do that. Okay, we're going to serve God's kingdom, and we're going to ask God to keep doing. We are going to take 3 more offerings. I'm not going to put God in a box, but I am not asking you to put your house up for sale, okay? God has blessed us, but we're going to keep serving, keep giving, and see what those open windows from heaven look like. But $17,900 in the very first offering for Guatemala. Some of you have no idea who Heiner is. So you're like, what is that? That's a guy. He's a missionary. He works for Tapestry of Love. You have no idea who Cindy is. You don't know Kara. You don't know any of the pastors. You don't know the xylophone players. You don't know the kid that plays the little thing with the stick for worship. You don't know his name. Neither do I. And you think, why is that? We think, why is that important? We're called to be the hands and feet. Just because you're not going doesn't mean you're not a part of the trip. By giving, we're going to give and go. We're going to see God do things unbelievably. Look at the title of today's sermon. It says this: Living a Life of Legacy. Now, if you have a favorite sports team, maybe they call it a dynasty. I was sad to read this, but the coach of the Braves passed away. Cox was Bobby Cox passed away yesterday or the day before. Now, not like when we were growing up. In the 90s, you did not want to play the Atlanta Braves. It was already, if you went to a game and you say, all right, for our 8th grade trip, we're going to go to St. Louis, and everybody's jazzed up, and you get there and they're playing the Braves, you're like, this is not going to go well. Not going to go well. Tom Glavine, John Smoltz, Greg Maddux, all these guys. And they had what they would call a dynasty. I mean, 7 or 8 pennants out of the 90s alone, okay? So it's something that you're known for. Maybe we have some here, but if you're a Yankees fan, they have a dynasty, okay? If you're a Celtics fan, they have a dynasty. UCLA has a dynasty, a legacy. It's if you mention their name, it's immediate brain switch to, yeah, they're good. I want you to think about this, and maybe you need to write it down, but what is your goal that after God takes you from this earth and your work is done, what do you want people to say of you? This is very hard. Oh, it's pretty good at golf. Okay, cool. So is Tiger Woods. What do you want them to say? Living a life of legacy means living a life sharing the gospel. Sometimes when it's necessary, we use words, but we're living a life understanding. This is the greatest, if you want to be the greatest teammate in the history of the world, here you go. Be the teammate that you wish you had. Remember that person who's like, oh yeah, it's an encourager, and it's a shoulder to cry on, it's an encouragement, it's a push, be that person. Oh, for somebody at the end of my life, whenever I get taken from this world, to say, he was a really, really awesome teammate to serve God with. Awesome. That's a goal. What do you want, ladies? What do you want? Listen, there are fingerprints all over my life from my mom and my grandmas and my great-grandmothers. I have a pretty young family. One of my great-grandmothers used to write an article in the paper in the Wayne County Press. Way back in the day. A newspaper, kids, is something that you open its paper top to bottom, left to right. Anyway, and she would talk about us when we would come over to go to the farm, and she would say, oh, it just gives me so much joy. And one time, I was young, I don't really remember this, my mom tells a story, but I found my love for Prairie Farms French onion dip from my great-grandmother. There is no other chip dip like Prairie Farms. Thank you, God, for Prairie Farms. But my great-grandmother told my mom, she goes, if he takes a liking to French onion dip and pickles, he got that from me. I could eat a gallon of whole pickles right now, and I love French onion dip. And I'll be like, oh, our pastor likes pickles. Yep, I'm saved. I'm a Christian. Yep, kidding. But she left a life of what family meant to me. Of what it meant to her, and she shared those thoughts in the paper for everybody to read. And what I didn't realize that she was doing was, because that stuff was recorded, I could go back and relive that stuff. I remember for Christmas, it was a big deal with her. They were poor. I got a pair of hunting socks and an orange. Knowing her, it was like she gave me $1 million. She left a legacy. My grandmother prayed for me when I shouldn't have been prayed for. My mom prayed for me when I was in the gutter of life. I owe a lot to them. But just because, ladies, this is your fingerprints. Your fingerprints will outlast this life. The fingerprints that you leave spiritually on people are for eternity. They're for kingdom building. They're not. It's bigger than you. When you find a teammate that understands, or people that serve God, when they understand, especially in church, when they understand the goal is bigger than them, and this is an operation that is far superior and more important than us, then you see God do amazing things. 17,900. We're at over $18,000 has been given so far. Why? Some of you may not ever meet Heiner. Why? That's the point. You know who won't forget that offering? I got to FaceTime with our missionary. Now, understand this. We could take a couple of our dollars in our back pockets from America and go to Guatemala, and you can buy a whole lot of things for a whole lot of little money. When I told Kara that our church raised $18,000, I thought she was going to pass out. Maryville's doing things about a building construction. Listen, we're leaving something that's going to impact. There's a young boy in Guatemala that, I'm not telling you this because of anything special of us, but my family and I recently sponsored a boy named Daniel. In Spanish is Daniel. Whether I ever get back to see that little boy again, we have left fingerprints of the gospel on his life. We're sponsoring him. We're sending his family money. And if we continue this with Guatemala, we get to go back and physically hang out with them. I joke about this, but if there had been enough room in Emma's suitcase, Daniel would have come back to the United States with us. She loves that kid. But it's beautiful to see that even that young motherhood instinct taken over, and she began to just speak life, just to speak Jesus over this young man. She's starting her life. Some of us are at the latter part of our life, leaving a legacy. Some of us are just beginning. If you're into history and you're into quotes, maybe you are, maybe you're not. Look at this first one on your worship handout. I remember my mother's prayers, and they have always followed me. They have clung to me all my life. Abraham Lincoln. By far my favorite president ever. You want to read something amazing? Read his devotions that he wrote. I remember my mother's prayer. What was such a big deal? He was the president during the Civil War in this country, abolishing slavery, getting hate. He was killed because somebody didn't agree with what he said. And the only thing that he did some not good things in his life, so have we. But he was in a direction, and whenever we start doing good, there's some people that didn't think that was okay. But he said, it was my mom. It was my mom that I remembered how she prayed for me. They've always followed me. See, ladies, what you don't understand is those little things that you help and serve in the back, or you help serve popcorn or whatever. There are people that during those little bitty intimate moments listen, giving somebody a bag of popcorn, in 10 years they're going to remember it. It's wild what we can remember. It's wild what we can remember. We can remember sometimes early as 3, 4, 5 years old. From right now, and some of you are going, man, that's a long time ago. I'm getting to that point. But we can remember those things. What would be said of you after you leave this earth? So we see that in Proverbs 31, starting in verse 10, we see this unbelievable template. And there are verses before this. I wanted to concentrate on these. They're speaking about being very wise in counsel, and this is often used. Proverbs 31, there's 31 chapters in Proverbs. You can read it in a month other than 30-day months in February. But it's opposite. Reading a proverb every day is a good thing, and it is. Verse 10 says, who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She's more precious than rubies. And we think, it was hard to find a good lady all the way back in biblical times. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. You don't have to answer this. It's just a question that comes up to my head. Why are good Christian, guys that are seeking the kingdom of God, why is it difficult sometimes for them to find a lady, and why is it hard for a lady that's seeking God's kingdom to find a good fit for her husband? This isn't anything new. Our world is tainted. There's all kinds of things. We have lost so many people, so many lives to abortion. We've lost all kinds of things. This whole world is tainted. Why? But if you can find, listen, he says, but you can find that. I tell my girls that they should be chasing after Jesus as fast as they can run. And the only way a guy can catch up to them and get their attention is if he's running faster. You see, there's no one good enough to marry my girls. Right? But I tell them, I say, listen, you chase after Jesus as fast as you can with your eyes on him, and everything else goes to the side unless one of these days you see that guy going, hey, how you doing? I'm chasing after Jesus too. You want to go together? Chasing after all of what God has for you. If you find a person that wants in high school, listen, this is crazy. When you find kids in high school that are getting made fun of, this is nothing new, getting made fun of because they want to save themselves for marriage. And I got made fun of in 1998 for that. I got made fun of in college for that. I was trying. I said, God, I know what you've given me, and I want this to be something special. In verse 11, her husband can trust her. She will greatly enrich his life. Now, there's sometimes that Mary doesn't trust me. Not on anything serious. Like last night when she came in from the garage, you have to ask her about this. She trusted that I was in the living room. I wasn't in the living room. When you walk in from our garage, you walk into our laundry room, and there's like a little cubby hole underneath it. And she trusted that I was in the living room. Actually, I was in the cubby hole, and I scared her to death. But her husband can trust. I trust my wife. Listen, if you can trust, if you can be trusted, do you know how valuable that is in this world? I don't have to look very long. To all of you could rewind really quick back in the last couple weeks when your trust has been broken like that. If you can trust, that relationship is stronger. She will greatly enrich your life. My dad joked with me about this, and he said, hey, do you know why whenever you were younger, do you know why we taught you how to clean bathrooms and vacuum the floor? I was smart. Like I said, because you didn't want to do it? I mean, that's why you have kids, right? And he said, no. He said, I learned this a long time ago. He said, but if you learn how to do the dishes and do laundry and clean bathrooms and vacuum the floor, and whenever you get married and you're able to do some of that stuff to take the work off of your wife's plate, he said, did you know that she'll kiss you more? I'm like, give me that vacuum. Right? She will greatly enrich his life. Mary's my best friend. It's not close. None of you are close, sorry. None of you are close. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. I get on Mary's nerves often. However, if I have to turn for someone to pray for me, I don't have to look very far, because she's right here. Leaving a legacy of that to our girls, to people around you. I'm not saying that the girls in my life are better than you. I know them more. Look at verse 13. She finds wool and flax and busily spins it. Anybody harvested wool and flax the last week? No, here's what it means. She's not afraid to work. Did you know that marriage is work? If you don't know marriage, you're not married. Or if you don't know it's hard work, you're not married. It's work. She's not afraid to use her hands. In this scenario, this context, it was she is taking care of things. Listen, ladies, you need complimented, big time. Yeah, I personally have seen this in effect. You can operate a vehicle while driving. You can drink an iced coffee while driving. Iced coffee, makeup, check text message, all the things. You're a great multitasker. Your schedule is crazy. You're all busy. Sometimes you go home at night and say, I cannot get anything done, and you've done 1,000 things today, but yet your mind doesn't shut off. We love you. We love you. There comes a time that to put our hands to the work. There's also a time for mom to sit down. And I know some seasons in life it doesn't seem like you can, but in verse 14, she's like a merchant ship, bringing her food from afar. She gets up before dawn to prepare breakfast for her husband and plans the day's work for her several servant girls. She's a prepared person. She's somebody that leaves a legacy, knows what she's doing. She's got a game plan, right? I don't know listen, if you show me a successful pastor, if you show me a successful pastor, 99% of the time, unless they're just not married, if you show me a successful pastor, I will show you an unbelievably godly woman right beside him. We don't get to see those things or to see those successes without being built up. This lady is prepared. Not only she gets up. Listen, ladies, sometimes you maybe get up way early. Sometimes you go to bed really late. Can I just tell you that your kids or the kids that you're around are not going to forget that. You're teaching. You're showing, you're molding. In verse 16, he goes on. Oh, she goes in to inspect the field and buys it. With her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She's energetic and strong, a hard worker. She makes sure her dealings are profitable. Her lamp burns late into the night. What does all this mean? It means she's really good at playing the stock market. Not really. It means she's really good at investing. I'm not just talking investing money. Listen, I am so blessed to be able to pastor a church where we have women that are, I love this, they're relentless in investing in other people for God's kingdom. They refuse to stop. They want to continue. They find different ways. But here's the deal. Some of our moms and some of our dads and some of the people in our church, they're overwhelmed right now. They need you to step into their place. They need a rest. We have too many things going on. We need more people. More people doing more jobs makes less work, by the way. She makes sure her dealings are profitable when she speaks. Did your mom, maybe your mom was a talker, maybe she wasn't. My grandma was not a talker. My mom was a talker. My grandma is not a talker. We communicate, but she's not like, if my grandma says something, even though it's not vocally loud, I have understood and learned that if she opens her mouth, I need to pay attention. She's a woman of not very many words, but when she speaks truth. I complained to her a few weeks ago, oh, this, and this, 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 and this, and this, and this, and this. And I was just going on and on and on. And my grandma just stopped me. She goes, hey. How long have you prayed about it? I didn't want to pray about it. I want your opinion. We went the short way out, right? And I said, no. We could just handle this. And she goes, cast all your cares upon the Lord, for he cares for you. I'm like, oh no, we're not using the Bible right now, right? Because I wanted a short fix, and my grandma said, how long have you prayed about it? You see, she righted my ship. She's like, hey, turn. Keep going. Maybe your grandma or your mom taught you things about taking care of the house or how to weed the garden. My grandma's 84 years old. She still weeds her garden by hand. But she also has a dealing with her grandson that's almost 46 years old. And I was complaining, and she said, hey, have you been here yet? I was just hoping that you could just give me the short answer. It turns out that God, sometimes I get pointed in that direction by my women in my life to say, I need you to get here. I need you to stay in this. I need you to be patient. I need you to look into this. Verse 19 says, her hands are busy spinning thread, her fingers twisting fiber. And this is talking about contextual work that was in biblical times. She extends a helping hand to the poor. Oh. Spinning thread, her fingers twisting fiber, sewing, whatever. Just doing motherly duties. In verse 20, she extends a helping hand to the poor and opens her arms to the needy. I want to interject something that my mom did into this verse, okay? A godly mom extends a helping hand to the poor, opens her arms to the needy, and is unafraid to backhand her kid. Turns out my mom and dad read the Bible. And they did correct me. That was awful. No, it wasn't. It was good. It was good. It's good now. No, did it? My dad, me and Jennifer were so well behaved that my dad carried a paddle with us. I have the halo. Not really, okay? We left the paddle. I thought it was a miraculous work of the Lord. We left the paddle at my grandparents and went home. And I'm like, ho, 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 ho. On the way home, I go, Jennifer, we can't make any noise, but you have to listen to me very carefully. I know for a fact that I saw the paddle still laying in Grandma and Grandpa's house. And we didn't pick it up. And we like, yes. We get home. My mom and dad notice, shocker, because we probably needed it again. He calls my grandpa. He goes, yeah, I got your paddle. Now, to us, we were the grandkids, right? We can't do anything wrong. Anyway, my dad goes like the next couple days, and he goes over there, and he goes, I'll stop by and get that, because he probably needed it. And my grandpa had taken a magic marker, then he drew a smiley face on this paddle. It said, he wrote on the word, love Pats only. I was shown more love than, no, why? She extends a helping hand to the poor, opens her arms to the needy. She's unafraid to help. She has no fear for winter for her household. This wouldn't have been a huge deal for everyone has warm clothes. She's prepared. Listen, when I get up in the morning, I make coffee, take a shower, get ready, get dressed, and I leave. It's literally that easy. Ladies, not that easy. You get up, sometimes you take the dog out, sometimes then you got to get the kids ready for school, and then you got kids ready for lunches, then you've got to get yourself ready, then you do your hair, and you never like the way your hair is. Then you got to do your makeup, and you don't like the way your makeup looks oftentimes. Can I just tell you something? That with every part of love in Christian brotherhood that I have for you, you're beautiful. God didn't make you any other way. And whenever your husband says, looking good, he's not joking. You guys get the kids ready, and by some mornings you've lifted the garage door, you're partially in the vehicle as you're throwing kids into the car, right? And you're backhanding them on the way where you're going because they won't listen. There's so many things, but listen, a godly woman is prepared. She doesn't have fear. My grandma said, listen, what's the big deal? Have you prayed about it? Why do we let it fester? She just instantly spoke wisdom into my life. I said, this and 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 this. She goes, have you prayed about this? I don't know when the last time a 5'2", 84-year-old woman has ever spoke to you like that. I'm bigger than my grandma. Okay, does that make sense? And she said, have you prayed about this? And I went, whoa. It was like she was wielding this huge broadsword from Lord of the Rings. I'm like, whoa. Okay, I'll pray about it. And she's like, you better. I'm like, okay. It's okay to do that. It's okay to point them to that. They don't have fear. Look at verse 22. She makes her own bedspreads. My grandma's biblical. She makes quilts. She dresses in fine linen and purple gowns. Her husband is well known at the city gates where he sits with the other civic leaders. See, the husband has good social status biblically here. Here's why. Because his wife makes him look good. You show me a successful pastor, I will show you a successful wife at home. You show me a very downtrodden or broken pastor relationship, it's probably broken at home. I'm telling you. She dresses in fine linen, as Mary would say, dressed to the nines. And her husband is well known at the city gates where he sits with other civic leaders. She makes belted linen garments and sashes to sell to the merchants. This is like an example of the greatest room mother of all time. Remember when you were in grade school, you had room mothers? Anybody have these? This was like the angels on assignment, I swear. Somebody had a birthday, they were the party coordinators. Listen, we had some ones that were okay. We had some really good ones. Listen, I'm telling you, if Bonita McCurdy comes to your room in 5th grade, it was assumed we're not getting anything cheap today. We're getting real Capri Suns with this. She had an expectation. It wasn't a status thing. She just wanted just to give us a little treat. Some of those moms that accepted me and corrected me, they wanted what was best for me. And they weren't afraid to open their mouth. Listen, I don't know about you, but whenever I went over to my friend's house, my mom and dad signed a verbal or written waiver that they could punish me anyway they found fit. That was awesome. I thought I was going away from the paddle. Nope, they're just more. It's like I'm going to a friend's house. It's like walking on landmines. Man, everybody can spank me. Everybody has permission. It was those ladies that put into us. They put into us spiritually. They put into us physically. They put into us to make us better people. Verse 25. She's clothed with strength and dignity. She laughs without fear of the future. I will tell you this right now. Some of the strongest followers of Jesus Christ that I have ever met or served with in this kingdom work in my life are not guys. I've been around some spiritual giant men, but I'm telling you, the day-to-day kingdom building that goes on happens from the ladies. If I took a poll right now, I'm talking just statistically, it's not probably dad or grandpa that brought you to church or got you involved in church. It's probably grandma or mom or an aunt or another lady. And I might be speaking truth. It may not be that way with you. Maybe it was both your parents that brought you to church. That's great. But she's clothed with strength. I'm reminded of a teacher that I taught with, and she lost her life with a battle of cancer. And about 8 years ago, I taught with her. And on the shirt that they made for her as a fundraising thing to help with hospital bills, this is on her shirt. So I'm telling you what, I have met some strong ladies. I'm not sure I have ever met a stronger lady than LaDonna Talbert. I walk into her room several times, and I said, can I please pray for you that God would just heal your body? She goes, bring it. And she just hold her arms out like this. And I put my hands on her head, and people praying for her. And then she looks at me, and she goes, thank you. If God saves my life and gets rid of this cancer, I'm going to shout it until I die. But if he allows me, this is how she said it. If he allows me to go to heaven after I die and this cancer takes me, she goes, you keep shouting Jesus for me. You want to talk about strong. She's like, I'm not scared of death. I'm not scared because I know where I'm going. As a result, she has kids that fear the Lord. She has students that are in this room that fear Jesus and learn from her. Dignity, strength. You didn't cross her because you're probably limping on the second one. It's one of those people, right? Listen, when she speaks, her words are wise and she gives instructions with kindness. It doesn't mean that you can't get upset. It means that you understand that your words carry weight. Understanding that giving into, if ladies or men, if you were raised in a household without a mom or a mother figure, here's the deal. You don't have to stay that way. You can break generational curses because Jesus said you can through him. When she speaks, her words are wise and she gives instructions with kindness. I talked to my grandmother in the yard. I had finished mowing her yard. And I said, well, this and this and this and this and this and this and this. The only thing she said, have you prayed about this? I don't want to pray. I want you to answer the question because it's faster that way, right? She said, I would take. Her words have weight. Maybe your mom early in life said these wonderful, unbelievable words. I'm proud of you. My mom told me she was proud of me one day after a baseball game. We got slaughtered in the game. It was not even close. My team was not that great. And I'm walking to the truck, or car, I'm just like, I just want to go home. I want to eat pizza rolls. I want to play Nintendo, and I don't want to do anything else, right? Have you been there? Nintendo and pizza rolls is pretty good. I just want to get away from this, and I get into the car. My mom never played baseball. She didn't play school sports. And she looks at me in the back, in the 1984 Buick Park Avenue. She looks at me in the rearview mirror. I'm sitting in the crushed velour seats, I got like 9 feet of car on each side of me. And I'm sitting there. She goes, I'm so proud of you. I said, we got destroyed. This wasn't fun to play. This wasn't fun for the other team to play. We were playing so bad. And I said, how in the world can you be proud of me? I still tell my girls this to this day. This made monumental impact on my life. She goes, I don't necessarily care about the outcome. I think I want you guys to win, but I just so much enjoyed watching you play today. my younger self didn't understand. I said, yeah. But we lost. See, that's what I was all concerned about. But now as a dad, speaking those words into my daughter's life all the time, I said, man, I love watching you play. Dad, we lost. I know. One day this is going to make sense. You know, ladies, you have the ability to speak and give those instructions, to pray over your kids, pray over your family. Some of you in this room have seen the physical and spiritual healing of prayer that has come from the woman in the relationship, and you're still married. She gives instructions with kindness. They're on purpose. Tell the kid, listen, don't touch the stove because it's hot. Kid touches stove, screams. I'm not saying these things, you're not going to at least think, idiot, right? I told you. But at the same time, it was my mom, throughout all the tears, throughout however mad she was always there to put the Band-Aid on my knee. She was always there because I requested to use peroxide and not alcohol because you didn't have to blow on that as much. Listen, alcohol was like satanic. I was cut all the time. I know. She got out that clear bottle and I said, nope. No. Get the brown one, the one that bubbles. But she was always there. I had a really bad accident when I was 13. I pulled a basketball goal down on my head. I did a chin up on the rim. It tipped with me. I landed on concrete. The rim hit my head. It got 39 stitches in my head. I thought I was going to die. I never passed out. I've had a head injury. There's blood everywhere, okay? My dad comes over with the car to my neighbor's house. My mom cradles I will never forget this. I will never forget this. She cradled my head, just not good. 13-year-olds should not look at their skulls. That's it, okay? And she had my head like this, and I looked up at my mom, and I said, Mom, am I going to die? I asked my mom that. Note to self, don't ask your mom that. And she goes, I think your head's too tough. And she goes, I don't think that you're going to die today because God has some unbelievable plans for you. That was just her speaking into her son. That was her taking preferential treatment and just speaking into me. I looked up at her, and as soon as she said that, I was absolutely, totally calm. My dad was not calm. We did not drive 55 miles an hour to Mount Carmel from Albion. It was more like 150. However fast the Oldsmobile would go, I don't know. But we got over there, and my mom was the one that held my hand. When I broke my arm in Kansas, my mom was the one that I called. When all these huge things just bottomed out, my mom was the one I called. Not because I deserve it, but she's the one that has weight with her words. And I say, Mom, I'm done. Like, no money, I'm done. We'll see what God says about that. All these things, she just speaks over me and onto me. She carefully watches everything in her household and suffers nothing from laziness. My mom was exceptionally good at verse 27. Anybody ever go to did you go swimming? Like if you live in town, you go to the swimming pool in the summer? Okay, we had a swimming pool in Albion. It's all they had. Now it's full of concrete. You can't swim there. Okay. Albion is a place of like 2,000 people, okay? My mom and dad would go to work. The pool opened at 1. Here was the deal. They bought us a summer pass to the pool. We could go at 1 o'clock. After we had lunch, we could ride our bikes over to the pool. We could swim. Before we were allowed to leave the house, though, every day we had a chore list. My mom is a genius. She didn't do dishes the whole summer. I looked at her, I'm like, how smart are you? Dishes, vacuum, clean the bathroom, do these things. And whenever we get done, me and my sister would eat, sometimes with those green or yellow burritos, the frozen ones, you like those? And we eat those, and then we take off. And she made sure that we knew how to do these things. And you may think, why in the world is that so important? You should have saw Mary's face when we were married for less than a week and she knew that I could clean bathrooms. She's like, whoa, I didn't know guys did this. I'm like, well, unfortunately, my mom taught me. Unfortunately, I'm pretty good at it. And though she carefully watches everything in her house, you guys have a level of discernment that's off the chart. You also have a sense of smell that I cannot even understand, right? Anybody else's wife can smell everything? Like all things. Mary can come in here and say, hey, there's some trash at home that smells bad. It's 8 miles. But she watches over everything. You have discernment. If your kids come in, you know without them saying a word, they've had a bad day. You're the hug that they need. You're the support that they need. Listen, no matter if God allows you to spend 1 more day or 50 more years on this earth, how will people speak of you? And more importantly, how are those people, those younger people that you impact, how will they speak of you? It's not a challenge to you do your own thing. God says, I've given you a job. Take care of this stuff. In verse 28, he says, her children stand and bless her. Her husband praises her. Mary's not only my best friend. She chases after Jesus as fast as she can run. I need that. You speak about her when she's not here. I know you think, well, you have the pulpit, you can do that. Oh, now it looks like bonus points. It's going to get streamed. No, listen to me. I make it a practice to talk about my wife behind her back, and it's good. Mary's a shoulder for a lot of people to cry on. She carries a lot of weight. She's a pastor's wife. I prayed that wouldn't happen to her. She just puts it on her shoulders. And she just keeps walking. How can she do that? She was taught how to do that by her mom and her grandmas. Spiritually help lead younger people. There are many virtuous and capable women in the world, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty does not last, but a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised.